Maybe I've watched one too many Disney movies, but I believe in the fairy tale. Two people meet, fall madly in love, get married, have babies, and live happily ever after. Sadly, it seems said fairy tale is happening less and less. More women are finding themselves approaching the end of their 30s without a relationship in sight. Those who are maternal are forced to make a choice. Forget your dreams of being a mum, freeze your eggs and hope for the best, or go it alone, have IVF and become a single mum by choice. Those of us who opt for the latter, for grabbing the last chance of motherhood, are often regarded as selfish or as making a lifestyle choice. For me, it is neither. The NHS helps couples conceive where they can't do it naturally. If they're choosing to do so, it is time for them to extend that help to people who have been forced to go it alone.
Oh, I really wish I wasn't picking up on this, because I think this is so complicated, it's so messy, it's so emotional, and really it's about the NHS resources as against a woman's wish to have a baby, and those two things don't always fit together. As we were talking earlier in the defence spending section, you know, we do not have unlimited resources, and healthcare, like politics, is all about choices. However, I think your argument is that a single woman has as much right to IVF on the NHS as a couple. And I think I agree with you. I think that we live in a very coupled-up world, but I don't think that only couples should have recourse to the state healthcare system to achieve their dreams. But I think it has to be within limits. Because I know, as speaking as a mother myself, that baby hunger is one of the strongest urges a woman deals with in her whole life. And I have full sympathy for women who want to achieve motherhood on the NHS. There are also other methods available, such as fostering and adoption, but I completely understand and hear you, but I think there have to be limits.
Nick's going to blow a gasket.
Well, I'm not, because I'm uniquely unqualified to speak on this, because A, I'm a bloke, and B, I've successfully had 2 children by normal methods, so I'm very, very blessed. But to brutally sub down what you're saying that a single woman's right to have IVF, when it's a right to have a baby.
No, she didn't. I thought that's what she said, but she's not saying that.
So let me be absolutely clear. So what I'm not suggesting is that the NHS has to fund IVF because it's a right to have a baby.
You're not saying that.
I'm not saying that. Right. So it goes without saying that if you've got 2 cases, you've got a child with leukemia, or you've got a 30-odd-year-old woman that wants an IVF, who should get that priority of funding? It goes without saying it should be the child with leukemia. So I'm not talking about priority of spending. What I'm talking about is if and where the NHS has made the decision that they will fund IVF, then what I'm saying is they have to. If they're making that choice to fund IVF for a couple that can't conceive, they have to equally treat a single woman in the same way, and they don't.
There will be many people watching this who are lone parents, probably single mums. They might have been widowed, marriages might have come to an end, partners might have walked out, and good luck to them. And I don't want to do them a disservice. But you wouldn't want to necessarily bring in children with lone parents, would you?
Absolutely.
Well, I think I am qualified to speak on this issue, because I am a woman that has recently just left her 30s and doesn't have children. And I totally disagree with you on this one, Michelle, for a number of reasons. First part is, the NHS offers this service for those that can't afford to pay for it privately in the way that you or I can.
Is it means-tested IVF?
It's not means-tested, but if you can afford it, you would go private.
I wouldn't
it's quicker.
Use the NHS.
Yeah, because time is of the essence where IVF is concerned.
Just on a point of clarification, with regard to the NHS, they don't actually choose how to fund it. It's determined by different local areas.
Yes,
and local
exactly.
Postcode lottery.
June, sorry.
So my point is, back to a sort of a Nick Ferrari point, we cannot afford to fund everybody. And chances are, if you are a single mother that cannot afford IVF, then you are on a lower income anyway. So we have to look at that. What is the income that single woman has versus the income of 2 couples, let's say, of 2 people, of a couple? And then the other piece is, At some point, we have to draw the line. Not everybody gets to have kids. It's not nice, it's not great, but it's real life.
Yeah.
And also the thing to add to this is IVF for a single woman costs more than IVF for a couple because you also have to factor in a sperm bank and all of the issues that you deal with there first. So for me, I think this is nice, it's a nice idea, but sorry, I completely disagree with it.
Again, you look at how many people are we talking about. We're talking about 1,400 people, 1,300 people a year.
It depends where you take the figures
That
from.
is a year in the whole of the UK. But the principle of it is what you're saying. And I mean, how many? We all know people, including members of our family, who've struggled to have children, who've gone through IVF. Yeah. It's a very emotional, painful, and very sad story. A lot of them. It very often doesn't succeed. Yeah. People also, we must remember, will go to any lengths. They will go abroad. They'll go to India. They'll go to European countries, to where you have IVF treatment. For example, over here. Yeah. So, and what Nick mentioned, it's not the same all over the country. No. Some of our health authorities don't offer it at all.
At all, yeah.
Others will insist that you have to try artificial insemination 10 or 12 times, then you're entitled to IVF. So it's lots of hurdles people have to go through, and people will go to any lengths, and I completely understand that. And I personally feel if a single mother wants to have a child and can't, then we should be able to support that if at all possible.
The question seems to boil down to, should a single woman have the same right as a couple if they present to their hospital where they actually offer this treatment on the NHS? Hands up who thinks they should.
And just to be clear, by the way, I don't see having children as a right. I see it as a privilege, but I see it as a privilege that shouldn't just be afforded to a couple.
But
so to your point...
But my point is, it's not the same because the procedure is different for a single woman versus a couple. There's an added extra piece to it.
Well, wait, what if one couple presents wants IVF because the man's sperm doesn't work? Then it's the same, isn't it?
Well, then your point is valid there, then, because you're adding that extra cost. So I would be fine for them not to do that.
But to me, what
and would you offer this to men? OK, what about single men who want to have kids?
What I'm arguing... No,
but I'm asking.
Raving back.
But I'm asking.
What I'm arguing is about uniformity of the policy. So, and there'll be loads of people screaming at their sets going, we shouldn't be funding IVF at all. And that is a separate debate, because what I'm saying is where you've chosen to fund IVF, I do not think you should say to a single person, you can't do this because you don't have a partner. So even just looking at Twitter before this debate, I was shocked at how many people were saying, you prioritise your career, you can't be bothered to find a man, you're lazy, why don't you get a cat, why don't you get a dog?
You got my
all
messages.
These things. Was it you?
Didn't reply.
I truly feel like this, being in the situation that I'm in, is horrible.
Yeah, no, and also I want Nick to agree.
Yes, I'm not arguing about myself. I can afford it. I'm defending other people that can't.
We've got to pick up on Nick, because I think Nick's one of these people who thinks that Tom Daley and his partner shouldn't have a baby.
You don't think
that. But you do not recognise... Wait, but do you not recognise that families... I know this sounds like an advert, come in all shapes and sizes.
Of course they do.
It's not just a man and a woman having two nuclear children. Right. In which case, why can't Michelle have IVF on the NHS?
Yeah.
Because I think actually from the debate, June made one of the most telling points, which is probably if this woman is going to be at the lower end of the earnings cycle.
It's all about money, is it?
Yes. Well,
if she can't afford. She can't
maybe not
afford
for you
IVF.
and your
She
privileged
shouldn't have a
background,
baby
but for
on
a lot
the
of people
NHS.
out there, it is about money.
That's
actually,
shocking. Actually,
it is about
Well,
money.
then, if it is about money, but if it is about money,
it's an exclusion on the grounds of poverty.
No, but you see, if it is about money, all the more we should help somebody like that, who so wants to have a child for all the right reasons. We should be able to help.
It might make a much better mother than a woman who's got 4 children and lets the nanny look after them.
Do I get a word in?
No.
Who's then going to struggle to bring the child up?
No, I'm sorry.
But they will financially.
No. You don't know that. So you're saying that a couple...
so prejudiced against single mothers.
But you're saying a couple can have IVF, but because a single person wants to use the NHS, they therefore can't afford it. Well, you're saying that a couple can...
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I don't.
Anyway. We'll just have to agree to disagree on this one.
So you wouldn't have a baby as a single mother?
I wouldn't, but I'm not against anybody else doing it.
But you've frozen your eggs? Is that for when you were coupled up?
Exactly.
Right.
But
Why did you look at me then?
Yeah. Call you next week. But I'm not against anybody else doing it. So,
and it's a hard decision
if you can afford
and
it.
it's a hard life to choose.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying don't add further complexity complexity to it by not even helping those people along the way.
OK.